Good afternoon. Well, it's afternoon here, and what's that? I smell change in the air. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about some of the changes I've seen over the last decades and how a lot of other people haven't noticed these changes. Well, why would you? Because you haven't been looking for them. But I see a lot of people making the wrong type of videos that aren't getting traction out there. So I'm going to go through some of those changes and just tell you what it was and what it is now. And hopefully it's going to help you start creating more relevant content wherever that is, whether it's on social, whether it's educational videos, whether it's thought leadership videos, whether it's sales videos. This applies to all of those areas. So I'd love to, if anyone's out there, this is this is the weird thing. You just feel like you're on here by yourself. I think the last one I did, I got it at a time when nobody was there. So if you are, say hello in the chat. And I want you to think about a question. This is my question for you. We're going to have a quiz time. Which film industry makes the most films every year? So where are the most films made? You know, like movie films. You know, think about where movie stars hang out and have a little think about that. And if you think you've got an answer, stick that in the comments as well. And if some come through, that's great. If not, and if you're watching this on a replay, or even if you're listening to this on a podcast, you're going to get maybe a little surprise because things are changing out there. And the reason I like doing this little quiz is that it's just, it's indicative of what people think is still going on in the world of video. And when I say video, I mean, this is video, this is film, this is TV, this is YouTube, this is visual communication, really. And whether that's fictional or non-fictional doesn't really matter. It's all the same. So, which film industry makes the most films every year? All right, so we got no comments through. That's okay. It's probably me just here by myself. I love talking about this. I'm happy to talk just to the camera with this. So, most people, if you say Hollywood, you would come in at number 3. Yeah. So it is now, I'm talking about the biggest. I'm talking about the volume of films. I'm not talking about the financial return or the size of the market, which is the biggest producer of films. If you said Bollywood or the Indian film industry, you'd be at number 2. And generally, this is what everyone thinks. Everyone thinks that this is the biggest film industry in the world. It's not. The biggest film industry in the world is Nollywood, the Nigerian film industry. And this comes as a big surprise to people. And I love doing this because, yeah, I mean, things are changing out there so much. So it's just a little bit of fun to get started. Nollywood is where it's all happening. And 40 years ago, when I started doing this, it wasn't. It was Hollywood. And you know, there's been big changes, and these changes come up so fast. That's it. So that's the fun little bit. I'm Julian Mather from Video Magic, and I want to show you how to earn trust with authentic video, how to make videos like a pro without the expense, and how to turn your humble staff into video stars. Why is that important? Because as automation dehumanizes business, video works like magic to build trust with customers. So they want to do business with you. How good would that be? So let's talk about some of the changes we've seen. And this is all about getting smart about how you make video because there are new rules out there and you will not win this new game if you are playing by the old rules. So like I said before, I've been doing this for 40 years. I can't believe it. It's boy, where's that time gone? And I have seen a lot of changes. And one of the first changes I've seen is that video it used to be really hard and complex to make. You used to have to be the anointed one that got in the industry somehow. You got a break in there because you could not make it yourself. You needed the money for the equipment. You needed the money for the film processing. And I started off on film. I mean, and like a complex, you had to put the film in the camera. You had to film something. And then you had to take the film out of the camera. You used to do it in a black bag. It was like this, it's like a bag with arms on it that was light tight. And you'd put the mag in there and you'd take the roll of film out and put it in the can and take it up and then take it down to the lab. And then you'd have to wait like half a day for the lab to deliver it back. And then when you got it, it was still wet. It hadn't hardened. So you had to be so careful when you put it on these editing machines called Steenbecks that you didn't scratch it. I mean, now it's so much simpler. You just get your smartphone out and it is my camera of choice. You press the red button and you have got cinema quality video. Hey, Kenneth, how are you? Nice to see you. Have not seen you for a while. Guessing it's evening time over there in the US. So good to see you. The smartphones are my camera of choice. And remember, I have used the best cameras in the world. So it is so simple now, and the apps that are coming out. Now, if you are one of these people who still does not believe that smartphones are good enough quality, well, you need to go and do a search on Google. And I think it's called Chinese New Year. If you put Chinese New Year, iPhone or shot on iPhone, you're going to get this video. You're going to need 7 minutes and a box of tissues to watch it. It is the most beautiful, beautiful story. And it is made by some of the world's best filmmakers. And it's shot on an iPhone 11. And it is going to knock your socks off. If you watch that and you still don't think it's good enough, come back on and I'll bring you on here on a live chat. And let's discuss it, because I would love to know why you weren't convinced. I might learn something. I'm not saying I know everything here. And videos have also got a lot simpler in the way that people want the content in videos delivered to them. Like, our lives are busy enough as it is. Do not make people have to work to understand the content in your video. So the general rule of thumb is one idea per video. So if you're going to make if you've got 3 points to give, don't make one video with 3 points, make 3 videos with 1 point each. That's the way it's going. So it's gone from complex to being simple. And the next thing it's gone from is being generic to this tailor-made, this made to measure. And when I mean generic, if you had a TV station, all right, you had the power, you held the microphone, your one voice went out to many, and you could be a little bit arrogant about it. You know, it was everyone sat down, it was broadcasting to the masses. Everyone sat there on a Sunday and you had to watch that movie. And now, of course, it's gone completely different. It's gone to this made to measure. Look at these photos. It used to be this one size fits all. And again, I mean, if you had the power to be able to broadcast or run a newspaper or a radio station, everyone got round and you took what you could get. Look at that photo. Now look at this, right? Look at this video. This is live streaming, sales live streaming in China. Each one of those smartphones is a small micro channel that wants to connect with that salesperson there. So think about that previous photo that you saw. I'll go back to it. Think about this previous photo. Everyone around one device, and now you've got one person with multiple micro channel devices. And that's such a great exemplar of the way things have changed there. So we are in this self-serve society now. Video is the new window shopping, it's the new sales assistant, it's the new instruction manual. You cannot, uh, if you've got a sales site and you've got sales teams in there, you've got to stop this idea of putting on, if you want to talk to us, book, a half-hour slot with our sales assistant. People aren't putting up with that. Well, they won't much longer. Show me already. You've got the technology. Show it to me. Show me in bite-sized chunks that I can go on and just search, find this information myself on learning centers on your site that you create, making these simple videos. So this is the way it's gone. And videos are way more authentic now when they used to be prescriptive. And what I mean by prescriptive is that you were told how videos were made. You used to have to go to film school or get into the industry. And I mean, there was a set process and you followed the steps of how it was done. And the more you followed the steps and didn't break the rules in the early days, probably the better you did. The new rule is there are no rules. It is a far more genuine, authentic, honest way that we use videos. And there are so many different forms that you can do, but it has gone to this more authentic video. So you have to now decide if you're on video, do you just want to be human? Like, I mean, I'm just talking to you now. This is, I talk about this, but, it's got ums and ers and stumbles and I'm forgetting where to go because the reason I'm doing this here and I'm taking the time to do it is maybe I'm going to help somebody doing it. So it's a service mindset. That is opposed to going on and are you going to do it more robotically? Are you going to think you have to present like a newsreader and talk in a certain way? That doesn't work anymore. It's not cutting through. Another change, I talked about this earlier, it's gone from being arrogant to respectful. And when I say arrogant, it was, I mean, literally you worked in the industry and nobody else could do it. So you just, whatever you made, people were going to watch it. And even though, we weren't consciously thinking of it this way back then, it's so clear to anyone who has worked in the industry and now works more in this, with online and live streaming like this, all these other services, is that you have to be respectful for people because people have so much choice. And if you start to try to game the system, if you try to start to spam people, you are going to get nowhere in this game. People's bullshit radars are so super sensitive these days. So if you start off something which is going to be either educational or entertaining or inspirational, and then you switch into selling in the middle of it, it's like a death sentence for you. So you really have to be respectful of people and don't spam. Don't make videos and put them up on social just simply because you think you've got to put something, it's Tuesday, you've got to put something up there. Make it worthwhile. So this is a new rule, and this is a shout out to Julie Masters from her I forgot the name of the podcast. I can't believe it. Listen to it all the time. Influence. Oh, it'll come back to me when I don't think about it. She put me onto this. With her business, they have a rule. If you're going to send out a piece of content, is it good enough that people will either keep it or share it? And I started down this path about 6 months ago, and this is one of my rules that I set for myself. And so this is an email that I got back in. So I've created this new 6-minute video course. It's on my website. It's like an opt-in, but it's so jam-packed with value. I thought if I'm going to give anything to anybody, it's got to be so jam-packed full of value. And this is an email that I got back. I mean, people are going, this is so good. I want to share it. So it says to me that, at least I'm heading in the right direction. I need to improve with this all the time as much as the next people. And the last thing is the videos used to be so long. Yeah. We used to make 60-minute documentaries. It was the standard. And then in about the late 1990s, mid-1990s, 95 or so, they started to bring in 30-minute documentaries, and people were stamping their feet up and down. There is no way that you can tell a story in such a short amount of time. And of course now 30 minutes is like you've got to be really good to be able to do long form. And so it's not about making everything short. You need to be able to be short. You need to be able to do long. But this ties in with the respectful over here. Respectful and tight. It's not about videos being short. It's about videos being tight. No padding, no fluff, no filler. We live in an attention economy. You can't do it. So they're the 5 things. And that's why I call this being smart. Obviously, if you haven't picked up the acronym there yet, but simple, made to measure, authentic, respectful, and tight. And why it's important is you can't make dumb videos anymore, and that's disrespectful. So again, that's that idea of you wasting people's time, just putting content or sending content because you think it's the right time to send it. Being unhelpful. You have to be in the service mindset. You have to be using your video to help someone get from where they are, being stuck, to being unstuck in the shortest possible time. And you can't be mechanical in video. So this idea of I'm just going to, I'll write an email, but I'm going to make a video just like I write a boring email. You cannot do that. And bloated again, they just can't be. Again, they can be long, but they can't be any longer than they need to be. And if you make dumb videos, see this guy over here? It's what's going to happen to you. You're going to miss this video wave, and it is forming and it's rolling now. You want to be like that guy down the right-hand side on the wave. That's what the surfers call in the green room, right? And that's that point of the wave, where it's tubing over the top of you, and it's like the big force pushes you out of the wave. You want to be there, and that's simple, made to measure, authentic, relevant, and tight videos. So that is smart videos. That's what I wanted to talk about today. So the action step for you, if you want to, is learn these new rules. Remember SMART and start, even if you can't do all 5, just start doing one of those at a time and start shifting your videos. Because if you're making videos the old way, that sort of dumb way, they're not cutting through now. They're not cutting through. All right, that is me done. Oh, I should tell you that of course you can, if you want, that's that 6-minute video course. That's always on my website. It's there. It's just put your email address in and go, look, if you think I'm going to get your email address and spam you, just get the 6-minute course and unsubscribe. I don't care. I want you using this content. And the other thing I do want to mention is that Business Video Jumpstart, which is the 30-day training program, is kicking off on April the 20th. It's half full. If you want to be part of that, jump in because the spots are all going to go. And I know that from previous courses, everyone waits to the last moment until they book. I would love to see you there. Apart from that, you guys all have a lovely time, and I'll see you soon. Hooroo.